It is another thriller in the IPL, though it didn't go down to the last ball. We don't have Rahul Dravid today, otherwise he would have.
Or Sidway, because we can make up for the lack of Sidway.
Oh, what would Sidney do if Rajasthan have won?
He'll tell you very well.
Tata! What up, Tata? What's it?
What did Tata do? He got out.
Oh, Tata hit a 6 and a 4, eh?
But then got out.
No problem. Still.
Very important 6 and a 4.
Important
No,
6 and a 4.
but that video was for me. Today's day is Shimron Hetman.
Absolutely.
Shimmy.
If he was here and he did Tata and all, I'd say relax. Hetmar is the one who took you there. Tata, yes, hit a 6, but so did so many of the others. Jurel hit a few important throws,
Yes.
like that everyone. But the star, even ahead of a Sanju Samson today, is Shimron Hetmar.
Absolutely.
Because as good as Sanju Samson was today, I think he threw away his wicket. That could very well have been the turning point of the match. And had Rajasthan gone on to lose from there, I'm sure question would have been asked to the captain. That's not to say that he shouldn't have. That was a reckless shot. Like, I am in flow. My mic is on. It is on. What can I do? That is not to say that. No, so that's okay. My voice will be going via this one, Harshit's mic. Sure. I should just turn it. As messy as this looks.
No, nothing beats when I got tired in that chair. That was messy. You reached here, Siddharth's holding your mic, Harshit's holding his mic. That was a comedy affair.
Actually, I'm really disappointed. I should have made a reel on that.
We should have actually. We can still find it in good comedy moments. What?
Yeah, make a reel on that.
Yeah.
No, just coming back to that innings of Sanju Samson, as much as we enjoyed it. And I'm happy another very close finish after the first game, which was
Pretty drab.
very dull, one of the most dull games that we've seen this IPL, alongside that RCB game that we saw on
Decent,
Saturday.
yeah.
So 2 days in a row we got dull games, but then 2 days in a row we also got exciting finishes,
Yep.
like the Punjab Kings game yesterday and the one today between Rajasthan and Gujarat. Yeah, but on the whole, I mean, that knock by Sanju Samson, as brilliant as it was, close to 190 strike rate, but that shot I think was an issue. Maybe he would have regretted it had they gone on to lose. Important shots by Ashwin and Jurel, but the man of the moment is a 56 not out of just 26 deliveries at a strike rate of 215, and this man has made it a habit last few seasons. He did it for Delhi as well, as my good friend Harshit will attest to, being a Delhi fan. But then he's moved to Rajasthan. Just that you don't give him a chance to bat. But what happens is, for a change, though there could still be arguments going forward, for a change, Rajasthan had the right batting order. I know there will be arguments with a name or two there. It doesn't make the batting order right. But on the whole, it seemed like with the resources that they'd gone, they went with the right batting line. And in the end, chasing it down. Okay, initial thoughts?
Great start by Yashasvi Jaiswal and Joss Butler, but
Yeah.
that did not happen.
The two of you, the only thing you agreed on was, the
The
openers are the crucial ones.
And to be fair, I was not counting on that innings from Samson.
You were not counting on anything.
I was counting on Sanju Samson.
Yeah,
I was not.
The difference was, you said that looking at that Rajasthan Royals batting lineup, you think they will be able to chase it.
Yes.
And when you set the batting lineup, you included the top order and the middle order. The difference was that Shane had said, Rajasthan batting order, but it's only the top order. Only if the openers fire will they do well. He had no hope from Devdutt Padikkal, who now in the context of the match did a decentish job, because that also proved to be crucial. And considering he came out to bat when they had lost those 2 early wickets, at 4 for 2, from there on that innings had to be played like that. You needed an anchor. I think he did
exactly.
that. But from there on, the 2 other innings that he definitely did not account for was Sanju Samson with 60 of 32 balls, because I remember her pointing out Sanju Samson.
I said no.
He's done nothing. And not also Shimron Hetman.
No, Shimron, yes, but I thought the collapse would have been left too much for him to do again.
The only thing you got right was Riyan Parag, I think.
I think that's a constant at this point.
I think most of us would have gotten that right.
5 of 7.
But it was, I think, a great contribution from Padikkal and Samson, the way they've stepped up after those 2 early wickets. That was very important because Shimron Hetmyer is brilliant, of course, but the win couldn't have come without those 2 innings.
Ashwin.
Padikkal and Samson.
Padikkal, yeah. Well, which is why I'm saying today there are lots of heroes for them. Padikkal for that situation,
Yes.
I mean consolidating. Sanju Samson then for, despite those 2 losses, also continuing the momentum at that strike rate, because that's quite often the time that you go into a shell. So if one guy is playing the anchor, the other also starts playing an anchor, and that's when you reach a stage where you can't then have a comeback. So what credit to Sanju, because he played fearless cricket and always kept them in the hunt despite the fact that they didn't have a great start. Then the minor hiccup, which I'm sure we had accounted for, even Rajasthan Royals heart of heart knew that ye to Riyan is gone, but will come back
Strong.
very soon.
तो होना ही था.
And then Hetmyer, Shimron Hetmyer. So all of them. So I'm looking at Padikkal, Sanju Samson, Shimron Hetmyer, Dhruv Jurel and Ashwin. All of them playing a major hand. But clearly for me, if I had to pick just one star of that match, it is Hetmyer for me. Stayed there till
It'll
the
be
end.
Samson for me actually.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because here's a captain who came, who came to the crease when the team was struggling, 2 wickets down. At the back of 2 back-to-back ducks, he took the chance, or rather took the risk of being the aggressor and allowed Devdutt Padikkal to play that anchor role and took it upon himself to play those extravagant shots. Look at the fact that he hit 6 boundaries, of which 2 were sixes. Rather 3 I think was sixes.
2.
No, he hit 6 sixes. 6 sixes
Sorry,
and
6. Yeah.
so 9 boundaries he scored in that innings of 60 that he in his knock of 60.
Yeah.
So that risk taking ability, him taking the ownership at the back of 2 back-to-back ducks, I think speaks volumes about his character as a captain. And he was the one who actually showed Rajasthan that there is light at the end of the tunnel. We just got to keep going.
No, but why I'm going to pick Hetmyer ahead of it? Fair point. Why I'm picking Hetmyer, and I think I gave Sanju the credit for that moment because he kept the momentum. For 2 reasons, I'm giving Hetmyer that credit. One, as I said, that had Rajasthan lost from there, you would have looked back at that Sanju Samson knock. That should he have gotten out at that time, because I think they were well and truly in the game. Initially, I agree, because particularly there, when he got out, there was Hetmyer also at the other end. So should he have gotten out at that time, because that could have been the turning point of the game they would have lost. So that's one. And secondly, whatever said and done, the guy who finishes the game, I mean, imagine when Sanju was batting, he had the comfort. So I'm just trying to think from both point of view, right? If I'm Sanju Samson, I am batting knowing very well that, hey, listen, I have got Jurel to come or a Hetmyer there or whatever to finish the job, right? So I can take that risk and get up. But if I'm Hetmyer, I know that it's just me. After that, yes, there could be a few cameos here and there, but with my wicket, the game is pretty much done.
It's all or bust.
Correct. So I think he's under greater pressure at the time, knowing fully well he doesn't have that cushion, which sometimes top order batsmen have. He doesn't have that cushion. He knows it's either he taking them over the line or they
or not.
Yeah.
I think also a point worth mentioning is the confidence that, like you said, the confidence that Shimron Hetmyer has batted with. I was also discussing with Shane that even at crunch moments he wasn't taking singles, because he knew I have to be on strike and I need to finish this game.
Yeah.
He was refusing a lot of, at the end of the over he refused a double, I believe. So that he
But he
could
did
be on
run a few
strike.
doubles.
Yeah.
Which I'm giving him brownie points for.
And he took the double that got him to a 50 also.
Yeah. No, but if you remember, I think he's lost some weight now. But while he was at Delhi,
DC,
he was visibly overweight.
He was more than beefed up.
Yeah, no, that wasn't healthy beefed up.
Beefed up is bulky, as in
Beefed up
muscly.
is Andre Russell. That's
Muscle.
strong muscle. He was unhealthy fat. That is what Shimron Hetmyer was. I remember a few videos that went up on social media at the time, which was, which didn't have the benefit of a loose match shirt. And I saw, he was not really, I think he's lost a bit of weight from there. And the few doubles that he did take, credit to him, whether it was for his 50 or otherwise. But yeah, I mean, overall, just the pacing of the inning and knowing when to attack. By the way,
Yes.
I mean, I'm just saying, he was attacking Rashid also. I mean, at the time that you had to. That was incredible.
But also Rashid was bowling a bit short, I believe.
Today, yeah, and quicker. He is anyway quick.
See, he's anyway quick, but I think why he was not looking to toss it up at all was because he didn't want it to get, as we say, under the eye. It'll disappear. I think he was worried about that because I think they also knew deep down if one of the two batsmen fired, they didn't really have enough runs on the board.
Do you reckon Alzari Joseph, the star for them, him not firing today is really what pegged them back, the Gujarat team? Because, I mean, he was their standout bowler so far. Today, bowls his 3 overs of 47, go at the economy of 15. And I think
16.
Samson was pretty harsh on him at one stage.
There are two bowling things really. One, of course, Alzari. Second was, why did Mohit Sharma only bowl 2 overs?
I know. And outstanding at that, right? By the way, they had a trump card today, which I didn't see, was Noor. Because we didn't pick Noor. We all thought that it was going to be little.
Yeah.
We all thought it would be little. They surprised us by bringing Noor. And by the way, when does Noor come? Towards the death. And bowls rather well. I mean, and that over picked up a wicket. So, I mean, he looked dangerous. I mean,
Left-handed Rashid Khan. Exactly that. Oh, first I didn't see that he had come. I think we were in the middle of the debate. I'm like, wait, when did Rashid start bowling left-handed? What's this happening? Or am I seeing things? Then I'm watching Noor. I'm like, oh my God, they found Rashid in itself is kind of mystery. You found a left-handed mystery from the same. I'm like, oh my God.
You hadn't heard about. I'd heard about him.
Briefly.
Yeah, he was a young 17-year-old at the time. I think last year. I mean, maybe 18 now. But when I first read about him was this young kid because he came last season.
Is there insinuation there about Afghanistan players and their age?
No, I'm just saying that's what I read. I have no idea. It's a bit dicey. It's not just with Afghanistan, it's with Pakistan, it's with North of India also. But pretty much the same. I'm saying it as a North Indian. So
no, there's enough people.
Had I been from a different part of the country like that,
Basher. I've been accused of that, so understandable.
So it's pretty common in our part of the world.
Fudging ages.
Yeah.
Come on, we've had World Cup winners.
Yeah.
No, I've spoken to a few Maharashtra. Ajit would tell me. In fact, Sachin also has talked. Ajit told me once or twice he'd come up north to play levels cricket, under 17, 18. I'd be like in UP or in Punjab or whatever. It's like this week guy like proper dadi.
Yes.
Guys, and we were like, we used to look like kids, playing under 15s or whatever. This week like adults.
They've got men playing under 19.
Yeah. Which is what even Sachin was saying. I think I was just talking to him about some players at his time also. So it's pretty.
It's out there, but it's
pretty
not
common. No, but I mean, I'm not. That's not the focus today. He bowled very well. Doesn't matter.
Yes.
He's playing seniors cricket. He could be 40 for all we care, right? It's all the same. So there is no age bar here. But I'd heard about him that he was this mystery bowler that they got. I think he came in last season he was with Punjab one season, last season or something. Didn't get a game, if I remember correctly.
So Punjab messing up a mystery spinner from Afghanistan. That sounds new.
Was he with them?
I don't know if he was. I remember Mujib was.
Mujib was, yes. But I had heard about him last year. And he did not get a game or did not get picked or whatever.
Teams, Afghanistan under 19. I don't see.
No, so maybe
No.
Yeah.
Only Gujarat.
Yeah.
Only Gujarat,
Yeah, but he's played in some leagues around the world. So
Yeah, but actually, based on his performance in other leagues, I've read a couple of articles that look out for this young Afghani kid who's very good. But I could be wrong with the franchise that he went with. So he was indeed a mystery, not just with his bowling, but at the time that he came out to bowl. Because here's Rajasthan calculating who would have to face. Shami's left with these many overs. Alzari has got one. Or maybe in fact, I thought that they were saving Mohit for later.
Correct.
Yeah.
Considering he bowls the slow ball very well and that will be used. But they just didn't go. So I think in hindsight, they will now look back and wonder why they didn't bowl more.
Exactly. Because I think, I know, I can understand why they went for that option, because I think it's about you're bringing on or throwing on an enigma. You're someone you've not accounted for.
Yeah.
But I think considering Shimron was on strike as a left-hander, there kind of negates the mystery, because again with this guy, he's not getting banana turn. It's subtle. So if you're pitching it stump to stump, even if it's spinning away from the batsman or towards the batsman, Hetmeyer at that point is thinking, I'm going after it. And he was connecting.
Yeah. Taking a few comments, Remani Achutanan is saying Sanju is batting way better than some stat padders.
I wonder who.
Who is he referring to?
No, just many.
In general.
In general, people say that he plays for stats and whatnot, but yeah.
No, he never plays for stats. That's one thing with Sanju Samson.
Yeah.
In fact, that probably harms him a little bit.
Well, the problem with him is exactly the contrary of that. Is that I hope someday he keeps stats in mind, or if not stats, match situation in mind, because he's so blessed with great shots. He's such a talented batsman that if he can be a bit more patient in certain situations and then unleash himself at the time that he needs to. I mean, calculate the risk is what you would want with him, which sometimes he doesn't do. But otherwise, he's.
But
one
today
of the
again,
best
as I said,
batsmen
he
to
showed
watch.
some great risk-taking appetite today for me.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, see, what happens with these situations is like, see the difference between him or a real outstanding world level batsman right now would be that if they are both equal in terms of talent, he would know how to then from here on take the game so that you're in a situation where you won with this kind of form.
Paces innings, basically.
Yeah, I'm saying that these kind of, see what I'm saying is that each batsman knows. Let's take Butler for example.
Exactly.
Right? So if there's a Butler, he also knows that it's not every day that whatever, or like seeing the ball like a football, whatever he'll see him connect, he knows that. But on a day he'll get going, he'll make sure he'll take you to a position where you're going to win, because he knows that today is my day.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to unnecessarily give my wicket unless it's an outstanding ball or whatever. So I'll pace it in a way, so if in an over I've got good two boundaries or so, I'll then wait for a next one. Or I mean, that's with experience, right? With Sanju, he's blessed with that amount of talent, or probably even more so compared to anybody else. Just that sometimes he just gets carried away. That today everything is going out of the park, which it continues to till such time his skies one in.
He does tend to have this ability, let's say, of not sometimes playing going to match situations. I'll never forget that time where he denied a single to Chris Morris.
Yeah, I remember.
The 16.25 crore Chris Morris. Told him no, I'll finish the match, and he did, just for the other team.
What year was this?
2020. Oh no, was it 2020? It was 2018, 19 times.
It was the year where I think he got bought for that much price.
Yeah.
Mini
So it was
auction.
before, I think, 19 then.
No, but by 19, see, you'd have spent more than a year. No, in 20, it was, I remember
This was 20, I think 20, not 19.
Yeah, no, in 19 he was bought, but he was kept on for the next year, and the season it happened was 20. Because it was in
20.
UAE. It was in UAE, I remember that.
Yes, 20. And by the way, again, the argument for that is that whatever 60 odd crore was paid for Chris Morris, primarily for his bowling. Having said that, he was no stranger to being that guy who can smack it at the end.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So he could have, or probably he had equal amount of chance than anybody else to have smashed it.
Yeah, I would back, if at that point I'm batting with any of the lower order bats, Chris Morris means I'm okay taking a single.
True. No, I'm just saying that he is remarkably talented. Few other points on Sanju, as Harish Madhisetti is saying. Sanju hitting 3 sixes against Rashid in the same over is a game-changing moment. True. Sanju at number 4 in ODIs if Shreyas is not available. Maybe, yeah. He's already in contention, I think.
Would be.
Talking about him, especially funny I mentioned his name today, but he's had a good outing, is Ishan Kishan. That may be the backup wicket keeper in ODIs could be a Sanju over an Ishan Kishan, because now KL is that
Main
keeper that you've got in ODIs. So he could be looked at. I'm always a fan of Sanju. I think that injury came at the wrong time for him.
Yeah, before the IPL, I think it was the Australia series, was it? Or where he got injured. Then I remember they brought in Jitesh as a backup at that point. And that injury came at a bad time, because 2022, Sanju was amazing in ODIs. Was averaging like 80 or 60 odd at number 5, which is no mean feat really. Really no mean feat.
Going back to that point, and UG Army points out, and I wanted to discuss because this is something that we focused on in our pre-show. UG Army says that in this season, Gujarat have won 15 out of the 16 games while chasing. In IPL, not this season, IPL, and lost all their IPL matches while defending a total. And that's come out to be true today. Why we discussed this at length at the start was because when the toss happened, Hardik Pandya said he's okay batting first. And at that time, I think we had concluded that this is more of just posturing because there is no way that Hardik Pandya wouldn't want to chase for two reasons. One, because we've seen underlights anyway, batting gets better. And two, because Gujarat's got such a fantastic record chasing, why the hell would he be okay batting first? So, clearly,
just the one time I think that they've lost while chasing. Otherwise, it's all been wins for them. But you know what this win today for Rajasthan does? They lost all 3 matches last year against Gujarat. This time around, they've won.
Turned it around.
Including the final, by the way.
And playoff 1. Qualifier 1 and the final they had lost.
and they played one game.
Yes, in the league stage.
That was that one game they played.
Yeah, eliminator was played between LSG and RCB. LSG got knocked out, and it was these two who played the qualifier 1 and the final, and they lost both those games. And the one league game also they had lost.
Yeah. No, but again, I think next time Hardik won't say that because now it'll be too obvious that he says we're okay batting first. He may still want to bat first, considering that they want to get over this. I mean, no team would want the stack to be so skewed, and if there is an issue batting first, they'd want to rectify it. So, in that regard, it'd be okay for him to want to bat first. But overall, if it's a crunch game, Gujarat chasing, and I mean, can you put a reason down to it? I mean, I have a thought as to why they're so better chasing than batting first. I don't know. Is there any? So I tell you what I always thought why it works for them when they're chasing, because if you look at their batting, and this has served them well, they are still not the team that is prescribing to the current T20 trend of going hell for leather, like the English model. Let me just call it, right?
Aggressors.
Yeah, that like you're going to be aggressive no matter what the situation. 30 for 3 also you're attacking. That kind of model that the English team tends to follow.
Yeah.
In T20 and even one day cricket, now even Test cricket, but that sort of model is what more teams are adapting. But Gujarat has been an exception. If you remember, they won the last IPL playing conventional T20 cricket, where they played according to the situation. They didn't, because again they had someone like a Shubman who was not an out and out attacker at the top. Then you had someone like a Hardik who adapted his game to being the anchor and playing according to situation. So overall their batting was like that, just that they were bowling outstandingly well. So what works for them while chasing is, once they know the target that they have, then they pace themselves really well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's what when they bat first, because they will never be targeting at 200, even if the pitch demands, because they're going to play that fixed template. So more often than not, they will give you a total which will be either below par or par. And if the other team then ends up batting well, then it's out of your hands, because that team then will chase down what you've got. Barely or rarely will you see a situation with a team like Gujarat where they'll go way above the par total. They're a more safe, calculated, pragmatic team when it comes to batting, and that's why I think every time they bat first, they could lose. I mean, the chances of them losing are higher. Chasing, they know this is the target, and then they'll plan accordingly.
Just to add to that, probably that's the case because you've got, your middle order comprised of somebody like a Tewatia and a Miller. For these batters, it also works well for them to know what they're gunning for. Then, if you're setting the target, you really don't know when to start firing. When chasing, these guys know, okay, we're in the 17th over.
Because you have no option.
Exactly, but it works for them.
Yes, it will,
because if a Miller doesn't, a Tewatia does it for them.
That's because when they come out that situation, as I say, chasing, you have no option. If it's like 12 and over, 15 and over, you will go for that. When you're batting first, you are not utilizing that option, or you're not going for that option B of going crazy. You're saying no, two bound, like I'm saying conventional thinking, loose ball 4, every other ball single double, and that will take you to your 170s, 80s. But then when you're bowling in that second inning, then it's out of your control, because then you'll have someone like a Sanju Samson someday or Hetmat play that knock, and no matter, and if you look at, by the way, Gujarat's bowling, other than Alzari, Joseph and Rashid, everyone else done pretty well in that sense. Shami's done well for you, Hardik himself's done well for you. So I mean, this is the typical bowling lineup where there will be a few bowlers that go for a lot of runs. So a good bowling performance in that sense. But I'm just saying the same batting. Now just reverse the situation. Why they would have won is, let's say if Rajasthan batted in this mold and let's say got assuming 10 runs more, 15 runs more, let's say 186 batting first or 190 batting first. The same Gujarat team would have chased it, because then they would have
Pace themselves.
batted that way to be chasing 190. I think that's the
better at adapting instead of being the aggressor.
Yeah. Adapting rather than setting a benchmark. But that's because of their conventional orthodox approach.
It's out of their comfort zone to go and bat first and put total.
Though they should. But I was happy about the fact that today Hardik, because remember we spoke about it, wonder whether he watches our show. Because you know what we said, Hardik is a good batsman. We don't want him batting like this. We love the Hardik who used to bat earlier, just aggressive, because he has all the shots in the book. He can hit any bowler. And why does he have to be the accumulator?
Exactly.
When he loves Dhoni, all right, but Dhoni does it because it suits his game at this point of his career. Hardik doesn't need to, because he can be the aggressor in the world. Today he was. I want to see him bat like that more often. Maybe this is a sign of things to come.
In fact, in his post-match, when he was speaking to the broadcasters, he did say that we should have targeted about 200 runs.
There.
He said he would 10 runs short, he said.
Maybe he was.
That's why he went for that shot.
Yeah.
No? But the problem was, I think others weren't.
Others weren't sent the memo. Like, hey, today we've changed
the template, boys.
Yeah, boys, the template's changed for today. Batting first, we're going for 200.
I think if Saha had put in like 10-20 runs, they could have gotten a good total, defendable total.
No, but then Saha's been doing that for them throughout the season. He started off
that every match, of course.
Yeah, and that's why I always say you can't have an anchor opener. No, you can't. You can't. I mean, even Kohli in the power plays is normally going hell for leather. Yes, with conventional shots, sure, but he's looking to penetrate the gap more often than not.
KL Rahul, Shubman Gill.
I'm critical of a KL Rahul for a reason. I think he's someone who has all the shots in the book but doesn't utilize them.
But Shubman's pretty much the same mold.
No, but Shubman is the same mold. But recently in internationals, he had been batting more freely. Against New Zealand, at home in Sri Lanka, he was batting far more attackingly. And again, attacking doesn't mean he's playing reverse ram shots. He was using conventional shots.
I don't see an aggression of a batsman with a kind of strokes. It doesn't matter. Like if a Kohli, he's mostly playing conventional, but if he can get runs at 140, 150, then
that's
right.
That's the thing. That's what Shubman was doing. In fact, if you look at his T20s strike rate, would be close to around that. But he's not been doing that so much in the IPL. He's also kind of taken on that responsibility of I'll bat deep. But do you want to be doing that? And it's not like they don't have guys who can tonk lower down the order. That's pretty much been their strength. I mean, a lot of games they were won last year by Miller, Tewatia, who had a few freak performances. So if you have that, then, and if you're batting long, okay, fine. You want to bat, say, 50 balls. But in those 50 balls, do you want to score 65, 70 runs, or do you want to be closer to 80? Yeah. Ideally, you want to be closer to 80 if you're consuming 50 balls.
Yeah.
But the question is, if he hadn't, Gill, if he hadn't played this long and had gotten out, how many did he score today? How many runs? 34 balls, I remember.
He
was 42, I guess.
45.
Yeah.
If he had 34 runs and 20 something balls, would you not criticize him for throwing away his wicket or something?
No, I am okay with an opener going hell for leather. My logic always is in T20s, if you are playing attacking cricket, I don't care if you get out playing an attacking shot, unless it's like if you're batting first.
But then Mandeep was doing that, no?
Mandeep wasn't playing shots.
No, he was. He showed intent.
What intent?
There was no runs only.
There was no runs, boss. There's nothing to play with.
He got out on a couple of ducks trying to go for extravagant shots.
But then that's a duck. No. See, like why I say, for instance, I wanted...
There's a huge difference between Shubman and...
Exactly. Why? So I'll give you a better parallel. Why was I not so keen on the drop Gurbaz bandwagon? Because early on, he was getting you those quick starts. Again, I'm not saying every match he got a half century. He's not going to do that every match. Get me a quick start. Give me a quick fire 30-40 as an opener. That is one thing I'll always ask of you. And he was. So actually, if he had gotten out earlier without playing those balls, we would have probably been praising him because his strike rate column would have read 140.
Yeah. I mean, on the subject of the kind of shots you play and to look at aggression, I think the best example of just thinking about it is Andre Russell barely does anything out of the ordinary in terms of shots. His runs are only, he'll hit it in the V, just there. It's just pure muscle. Those are conventional shots, as in he's not trying to play a reverse
ramp sweep and all.
Textbook shots.
Yeah, just that Listen, muscle,
Boom.
time the ball, out of the stadium.
So he
Simple.
follows the
Keep
Sehwag
it simple.
template. No, see the ball, hit the ball.
Keep it simple. You don't really need to innovate that way. Just whack it.
If you have that kind of power, if you have that much power, why would you want to be playing, unconventional shots?
Well,
sir?
at this time, Ryan Parag definitely needs that bat.
Do you know what okay, quiz question. What happens to Ryan Parag next game?
He plays.
Yeah, he plays.
He plays.
Who do they bring in place of him? I thought Jarrell would be his replacement.
That's like,
He played well.
what happens to Ryan Parag the next game? Option A, he plays. Option B, he plays. Option C, he definitely plays.
Option A, he plays. Option B, he definitely plays. Option C, he plays. Are your tears salty?
True. I think he'll play. because they won.
Yeah, exactly.
So again, he'll get away with it.
Why fix anything that's not broken? We
Yeah.
won the game. It all worked out well. It was a
It's
lucky
okay.
charm. So he'll continue. We missed a lot of super chats, did we? Bring them on. Arey.
Here also there's plenty of clicking. What goes on? Oh, larger.
It's like you've got a huge treasure box. You open one, there's another one in
I
there,
thought
then another one, and another one.
Those Russian dolls, you open and there's another doll inside.
Okay.
On this show we should
Aditya
be
Mohanty saying, "Ja Simran Ja, जी ले अपनी जिंदगी."
talking.
Congratulations to RR.
Shimron Ja, nice one. Aditya
Nice pun.
Mohanty,
Nice.
Ja Shimron Ja. Manchester Rising says scars of Rinku made GT bowler get Noor over Mohit.
I would agree with that. Scars of Rinku wasn't Rinku the way he attacked the pacer in the final over. No, but that would have been true if Yash Dayal was playing.
Yeah.
But Yash is not playing.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair in the comparison that just because they are both medium pacers, you compare Yash Dayal to Mohit. One, I think in terms of his armory, Mohit's got that slower ball really working for him, whereas Yash Dayal's slower ball was not going to deceive anybody. It did not. It was clear. Secondly, Yash Dayal, to be fair to him, still a youngster, right? In the ropes, getting used to bowling in those situations. Mohit making a comeback, but he's had that experience, right? So he could always draw from that experience of having bowled in tough situations.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I don't think a fair comparison. I would still want more. I mean, not over Noor, but maybe at certain point you could have. Maybe if Rashid, I know it's tough that not to give Rashid 4 overs, but if it wasn't really his day today, maybe you could have looked at being Mohit and some.
Again, the
Yeah.
reputation he comes in with, and in 1 over of his, things can really change.
Key example, that match against KKR. Venkatesh Iyer took him to the cleaners in that match. In 3 overs, he had conceded 35 runs. 4th over changed the game pretty much.
Yeah.
Until Ringu came and changed it again. But the game was changed. At that point, it was done and dusted.
Yeah.
That's what Rashid does.
Took 2 wickets in the same over, right?
hat-trick, right?
Oh yeah, the hat trick, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Russell was one of them.
Yes, Russell, then Narayan and Shardul.
Shardul.
Manav Kaushal wants to know Ashwin Akshar being clutch match winner, marquee Indian batsman accumulating runs without taking risk in a losing cost to 2022-23 season in short.
He's being very pessimistic.
Yeah. Yeah, he is being.
Although to be fair, this has been the trend. I mean, even in the test matches, the Border Gavaskar, Ashwin was putting in some good clutch performances. Akshar in particular, we've been praising as probably India's best bat in recent
Yeah.
form. I never thought those were
Across
words.
formats.
Across formats,
I never thought those were words that would escape my mouth, but here we go. And yes, but the Indian
I
batsman.
mean, which is why I put a tweet out there. I mean, imagine in today's day and age, like, I'm thinking like David Warner and Akshar on the crease. Who's going to win me the match? I'm saying Akshar.
Akshar Patel.
I never thought in my lifetime I'd ever be
mind
saying
this
that.
Since you mentioned that match, David Warner was playing for good 15 overs when Akshar comes into bat, and then Akshar gets to his half century. The very next ball that he does, and then in fact just leapfrog him.
So I'm just saying that's exactly the match I was thinking, and I'm like, if Delhi want to win, I want Akshar on strike, not Warner. I'm thinking like, I wish Warner gets out now, and those kind of thoughts. I'm not even taking you. I know there's an age difference between the two of them, and of course Warner you're not comparing peak Warner to this, but I'm saying I never thought there will be a stage at any point that the two of them are batting. And I'm like, nahi yaar, Warner bhai, please, Akshar ko do.
Akshar ko strike do.
He's going to win. And never, ever. That's incredible how much he's really turned it around. And again, I go back to that match. It's not just fluke hitting. I mentioned it earlier. I read his comments after the game. He realized at the time that Warner is struggling because the ball's really not coming onto the bat. And Warner is struggling because he's trying to hit the ball too hard to clear it. He was attempting to hit it, but he couldn't. But here's an Akshar Patel, primarily a bowler, newfound love for batting, what he's doing the other way. Figured it out that, listen, the way to hit on these pitches is just let it come to your bat and time it rather. I mean, all of that. So he's right up there.
Yeah.
Right up there.
Because he too, by the way, realized in that same post-match presentation where he said that I realized after a few balls that I need to readjust and change my technique.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He figured out what the pitch is like, and this is not the pitch where usually I hit through the line, and he changed it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Incredible. Mehraj Rule says Noor made his big name from the Big Bash League. He was brilliant there. Yeah, I think that's where it may have been. That's where I probably may have read about him for the first time. Gargi, please thank Riju Bhattacharya. The lady's name is Gargi.
Yes.
But I wish Gargi speaks more often. Otherwise, it seems like we're bullying her into just.
No.
We're bullying the Gen Z.
We're bullying the Gen Z. No,
I am no longer the Gen Z. Thank God for that. Because I'm actually a
Well, it'll be
millennial.
interesting to pit. It'll be interesting to pit Shane against Gargi now with all those abbreviations.
I will lose. 100%.
Because with my vintage, so I just don't know any of these words they come up with. And then luckily Shane or someone. Sidvi is also kind of updated with little bit.
He's very active on social media. No?
So you understand. Otherwise, I
Follows a lot of people.
BRB, which I've
That's the most basic of
yeah,
them all.
but for me, yesterday, just yesterday we were having this conversation, me and my wife, and my wife was mentioning how for the longest time she thought LOL was not laugh out loud. She thought it meant lots of love. So,
No, to begin with, yes, there were many people who did send that as, but yeah.
Pointed it out.
It's
So
laugh
I'm
out
saying
loud.
that's the vintage that I come from. So it's gradually, but now I'm better in the sense I've picked up a lot of words, but still not there now. So there are so many new words that come. So luckily I have younger folks with me who can tell me what that means. Now they even for series they're BGT.
BGT confused the life out of
a lot of people. BGT and all that. So there was another one because we were having this conversation again with folks my age, and so one of them was mentioning like my kid sends me a message all the time, and it is like do this RN, do this
Right now.
It's right now. It's like RN.
I think we should make an Excel sheet where if you don't know a slang or whatever, you can put it in and we'll write an explanation next to it so you can stay updated.
just saying Excel sheet overusage is also a Gen Z thing.
Yeah, for everything there's an Excel sheet.
Although I can't say that my fiance is a millennial like me and she also has this thing, Excel sheet.
Now, this has got a lot to do with this corporate culture also.
Yeah.
Like I know of folks, like when they go for holidays, they've got an Excel sheet where they've actually like where one meal and what day will happen, where what place, how much is the distance from which hotel to what, it's all listed. I've seen that.
I have one for wedding plans.
I have no idea when I go to a
I have one for wedding plans. Not even kidding.
Things are changing rapidly.
Yes, and we must all learn because as Big Boy says, you only live once.
YOLO is you only
I
live
was just
once.
going to ask you what
Dex is saying FR, which is for real.
another one I learned yesterday. Philo. So which was first in, last out.
First and last, sir.
It's called Philo.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was getting into the car and said, no, that'll be Philo. I was like, I don't understand.
First and last
So
out.
that's when the conversation started.
Yeah.
First in, last out. Because you were sitting in the back seat of the van, then you're first in and last
First
out.
and last, sir.
And so then the whole conversation during the journey was about these.
I think we've invented a whole new language. Like it.
Yeah, Gen Z language.
Yeah.
Like I used to have trouble even. I mean, I was very anal about it. Like when people would write
SMSs?
SMS language on emails. Like even ASAP I had issues with. Like
As soon as
about
possible.
ASAP. Like, but now I've kind of adapted to it. That you have to gradually. So even now on SMSs, I will write full words. I'll never write short forms. Never.
Really?
Yeah.
C, U, as in for
No,
C
That's
and
just bad.
Big no. Big no. No.
The one thing
NO.
annoys me the most is GM.
Good morning.
Oh
I'm like,
my
just type good morning, man. What is GM?
Yeah, exactly.
Annoys the life out of me.
Mera Drew again from Canada says, I've seen everything there is to see in life. Rashid going for 11 runs.
Yeah, I mean,
By the way, it happened for two bowlers today.
Yeah.
Sunil Narine and Rashid Khan.
the people who we can like.
Yeah, it's a rare day.
Huh?
Yes, the
It's
game's
the
a leveler,
batter's
as they say.
Yeah, Batters Day.
More?
Roy SP. How many names for one position? Hopefully Iyer will be fit and they do have a backup in Surya. Better option than Ishan, but Ishan can open too.
But Surya and ODI is kind of, I think, unfortunately for a player of his talent, hasn't been able to adapt.
Yeah, but I don't think you're going to give up on him. And they
No,
shouldn't.
you shouldn't.
Yeah, stick on with him. Give him a few more chances. There's still time for the World Cup because if he starts firing, then you need him. Yeah,
God save the bowlers.
God save the bowlers.
Yeah.
I agree. Hariharan Vishwanathan from the USA says Gill's batting feels like that of KL and Virat, evident from this match and last match. He is a brilliant anchor, but more suitable for ODI and not T20. Hariharan, we had a lengthy discussion on that, and I think
Disagree.
what we spoke about was the fact that if you're going to have that sort of yardstick for a KL or a Virat or a Rohit, whoever, then I think you need to have for Gill also. Let age not make it, okay, because you're young, so you could do anything, and because they by the way, they're not even old, at least not KL and
Gill.
Virat in that sense, as in I'm saying older players.
Okay.
So then have that sort of benchmark for everyone. Otherwise, for not, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you want attacking players, then they should be attacking regardless of their age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
And
you
if
can't
you-
have a similar kind of batter on
Who's
every
younger?
position.
Who's younger?
No, I mean, not every batter can be an aggressor. It won't work.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. As I keep pointing out with the England template, they'll always have two anchors in the middle order. But again, they're very set and saying openers have to be aggressive. Roy, Bairstow, Butler in recent times, the
Hales.
returning Hales.
Hales.
They only bat one way.
Actually, I mean, we keep giving England's example, and I think we could do a detailed, sort of a video and explainer. But I tell you, you look at, and I was in Australia when the World Cup happened. You just look at the World Cup. Barring that India game, England weren't that far ahead of everyone else in terms of. I mean, a couple of games they won against Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Everyone
you
played like
talking
an
about
anchor.
power play numbers, are you?
Power play or in general, like the approach was, for example, Ben Stokes, right, one of the most aggressive batsmen that you have. Take out his strike rate in the World Cup.
It was 120, 30 types.
Yeah.
Because he batted according to the situation. Same English team, when they moved from Adelaide to Melbourne to play the final, batted very differently. Because the conditions were like that. Right?
Exactly.
So you can't always be, and I don't think that there is one template. I'll tell you why, and I was thinking about it. Why is it that it gives you that sort of impression? Why do you keep talking about England? A lot of it has to do with how they're playing their test cricket. So we just attached aggressive cricket with England. A lot of it has to do with how they started playing ODI cricket. But I tell you why that happened. All of those runs came in England because if you see the England, they get flat tracks in the summer.
And very quick.
Where 300s or 400s were being made. But if you bring that same English team into certain other conditions, get them play in South Africa in certain pitches, or play, I don't think they'll bat like that.
Exactly.
Or as we saw them in Australia, different pitches and different times at the T20 World Cup, they batted very differently.
No, in fact, that's the thing. Previously, they had that approach that, come the situation in white ball cricket, that is, we're going to attack. They also realized that with the conditions sometimes being a little different, you have to adapt your.
But that approach, mostly see what happens. You play majority of your games at home, right? So you'll be judged. For example, you look at Pakistan, whatever they do in different parts, So you look at Babar, you will look at it majority of the time because he's playing at home. The same with England. The pitches in England allowed them to keep playing that.
Correct.
Yeah.
But as soon as they went out of that comfort zone, different places, they had to change their game. And they did change that game. And it's not that they came to Australia and like every game they said, okay, we're gonna tom, everything is gonna go out of ground. No, they played the final very differently. They played that game against Sri Lanka to qualify for
Very
the semi-final very differently. So it's not that.
But even then, all teams are doing one thing, and that India weren't, and that was the fact that they were getting runs in the power play. India weren't. So that's to say that okay, even if they're playing to the situation, India in those very situations were lagging even then, because India, I remember, had one of the worst run rates in the power play.
Yeah, but obviously.
So you were slow than everyone else in the competition. At one point, India had the third worst run rate in the power plays.
You had KL Rahul playing out first over.
Imagine a
maidens every
Bangladesh
time.
having a better power, and that's no disrespect to Bangladesh. They challenged us very
No,
well.
But I'm saying, okay, whichever way the team plays, at the end of the day, I'm saying 20 overs. What was the run rate that each team maintained? And I'd rather be interested in looking at that for each team at the World Cup. Not just power play, at the end of 20
No, but then
overs.
you will always be looking at the power plays in particular, because that's the time that you look at conventionally
I'm
saying.
saying on a given match, is at what run rate a team has scored.
But then it does matter. Just that
I'll tell
number
you
in
why.
isolation will matter, is because it does give you an idea as to how well you're starting your games.
But I'm saying you get no prizes for, or you don't win a game based on you got more runs in the power play. You win a game as to end of 20 overs, you got more runs.
But
So I want to see based on each. I'll tell you why. Because each team's approach may be very different. So let's say if you need one or two anchors,
Yeah.
each team might have their anchors batting in very different positions. So we don't know where they accelerate, where they come down. I'm saying I'd be interested in seeing this set. But instead of just power play, because it serves me no purpose, because at the end of the day, the game's not just played at the power play.
It's not,
I want to know and it'd be interesting to find out that at the end of the World Cup as to what run rate was each team playing in. And by the way, that also will change, because assuming you got two games in Adelaide, which is a belter of a track, your run rate goes up. And if you played more than anyone else at MCG or Perth, your run rate comes down. So I think it also depends on the way, because Australia had very different venues.
yeah, 5 venues, right?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm saying different in the sense, different nature. Of,
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
you were playing at a very unseasonal time, really. So I think there are lots of places where the conditions were very unpredictable.
Tell me about unseasonal. I got all prepared for like Australian summer, and it was freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought jackets there. So
Especially that Adelaide game, I remember we saw the Indian players having towels on and whatnot.
freezing. Yeah, I mean, how I survived those days. And I'm saying I bought jackets even then, because most of our work is outdoors. I was always out doing lives and updates. Yes. A post game, and it just be windy and cold, and jackets wouldn't help. So that bad. Really, really cold. And it was the beginning of the summers at that time. The winters had gone, but it's like unusual weather.
Saurav Mukherjee.
Please take the question.
Saurav Mukherjee says that the handshake saga is another moment when you realize that one can't get away with lies. No matter who you are, respect the game and it'll love you back.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't figure it out.
No, lies as in the whole debate was that one of them lied. Virat and Saurav, and there was some sort of support that Saurav got after the sting on Chetan Sharma, where he actually backed what Saurav was saying. So I mean, again, as I said,
We don't know the situation.
it was all hearsay. But one fact does remain, that one of them did lie. Because contrasting versions, right? So if one story has, I don't know who, but one says, this is black, and the other says this is white. I mean, one of them is lying for sure, right? But because we weren't there, we don't know. So, but going back to that handshake saga, we've done a separate video on that with our 2 bits. It's already up on Sports Today. Shivan's put it, so please go check that out. That video is out on Sports Today.
Yes.
We've discussed it at greater details with analyzing body language and all of that. Check that out.
And online clips.
Online
The
clips.
best sources ever.
And different clips and different
With different camera angles.
Angles. We talked about camera angles and whatnot. So very in depth.
See that.
3D.
He's enacted a rather famous meme dialogue.
Yes, I was about to say that.
I'll read this.
Yeah.
So he goes, Nerad Hardik.
Who is it? Sent this first.
This Mehraj Rules, who sent a lot of super stray, thank you for that,
Yeah.
goes, Samson dikh raha hai? Hardik says, हाँ. Nerad says, कर दे out. Nerad, Parag dikh raha hai? Hardik, yes, कर दिया out. नहीं करना था. Which implies that he shouldn't have gotten Parag out, but
Parag
he actually
out.
won.
This is also from a meme, by the way, inspired from a meme.
Yeah. It's inspired from a popular Bollywood. Yeah.
From
Yes.
a movie.
You have an idea about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dhamal,
Shivam
Dhamal.
knows.
Dhamal.
Yes, Dhamal.
So it
It's
was
the scene where like these two guys are flying a
Yeah.
plane. They have no idea what they're doing, so they call the radio guys, and the radio guy will be like, "वो लाल बटन दिख रहा है? हाँ दिख रहा है, दिख रहा है,
दबा दिया."
दबा दिया. नहीं दबाना था. That's what he's referring. That's what he's referring
No,
to.
but that guy is an idiot to say lal button.
हाँ लाल बटन दिख रहा है. Oh, that's the point. It's slapstick
So
comedy.
that- he's very, very slow, the radio tower guy, and he's very chill. He doesn't know what's going on, that the plane's crashing.
Yeah.
So he's just like,
So that's the reference.
You haven't seen that?
you have to watch it.
You would have.
No, I think I have seen the movie, but I can't remember these. This
Chinnaswamy Iyer.
This is that.
Yeah.
One. This has got Javed Jafri.
Yes.
Javed Jafri,
Who's the
Arshad
brother of
Warsi.
Sanjay Dutt.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, that's the one.
Sanjay Dutt.
It's a copy of that that English film.
It's a
right?
copy of multiple films. by the way.
Yeah, but they eventually the Mechanized Gold, right? Where they looking for the
They've
gold.
taken scenes from
And
Johnny English also.
Ah.
The beginning scene.
copied a lot of Hollywood films.
Yeah.
Arey, that part where he says, "No, you're entering the most secure location."
Italian.
Oh.
That's not the Italian job. That's from taken from this
Johnny
parody.
English.
Yes, Johnny English, where Rowan Atkinson plays MI6 agent who's bumbling. So it's taken from there. It's word for word copy, by the way. They've lifted the lines and translated it. It's that bad.
But I guess you all know it so well, so it's done its job. It must have been a hit.
No, I think it was one of those cult hit kind of things,
Yeah.
which was, like people found it good because of the meme content.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it
The
was.
memes followed much later. It's these little moments that you had in the movie.
There's one
Yeah.
meme-worthy
I think if
dismissal.
this catch was dropped, we would have been looking at a very different result.
Yeah.
This will, yes, you're right. This will make for a meme.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah. Three of them converging, everyone screaming mine, and then
No one's hearing
off a
anyone.
bounce, it's
The one person who pulled out takes the catch.
Yeah.
And probably heard those calls.
Yeah. Manchester Rising is back and says that Rajasthan Royals have defeated Chennai and Gujarat away. Faves for the title. In my opinion, Gujarat don't have the dead bowlers to defend totals along with swashbuckling openers.
No, they do have the death bowlers, but are they doing well?
RR
Is that the-
Who are the
that's
dead bowlers?
Also defeated
GT.
SRH at home, if I'm not wrong. So they're making a good habit of being, you know.
Rashid is not a death bowler.
He can be.
Yeah. No, RR alongside LSG and my favorites, the three that I put on.
RR what? I think RR, most of
RR,
us is picked.
Lucknow
picked.
and what's the other team that I picked? Three,
GT,
I'd said.
GT also you picked, I guess.
No, GT and CSK had the SRH.
CSK.
The three, yeah. But yeah, RR and LSG both look good to me. Though one of them lost yesterday. What is it, Che?
She can read this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Nitish is here. Nitish 1997. Good win for RR. I think 4 overs from spinners in last 5 overs was not a good idea. Gargi, your voice reminds me of Smriti. RCB versus CSK waiting.
That's the second time now.
Yeah.
Mandana.
Someone said Smriti Mandhana.
Yesterday also someone compared her voice to
Yes.
Smriti
I
Mandana.
don't think the voices are same. I'll tell you why. Because they both may have slight
Marathi.
Yes.
That's
touch to
exactly
it.
what I said.
Yeah, that is why you feel like that. But their voices are different.
Yeah.
But the tone might be the same, which is why.
And Miraj, yaar.
Miraj ka one.
Come on, Miraj.
Come on, next one,
You've
next
gotten
one.
so much attention today.
Okay, man, I have so much love coming your way,
Huh?
but don't get used to it.
No,
huh?
no.
A lot of them start trolling after some.
Yeah.
I was.
But enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
And thank them. Please send Mehraj such nice word. He says sports today is now a complete team.
Well, I also love being a part of this team, and obviously all the family members that
Yeah.
come and watch
They
the
are
show.
also our team members.
Yeah,
Yeah.
team members that come and watch the show, and all these sweet super chats.
Yeah.
Anything
By the
we
way,
all
they're the
enjoy
ones who reminded us yesterday that we crossed 150k.
that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we
nice.
have.
Yes.
Thank you. Maybe keep growing with you guys. But even if we don't, I often tell you, it's not about number of people. Even if we are at 150, it doesn't matter, right? We're just here every day chatting about sport. Whether you have 1,50,000 subscribers or 50,000 or 5 lakh, the way we talk about cricket or our love for cricket is going to remain the same, right? We'll
Yeah,
come here,
exactly.
chat every day,
Yeah.
engage with you guys. So doesn't matter how many are there with us, but the more the merrier is what I would say.
Yes.
We can share the love. Vishal Panchal says Rutraj versus Gill for T20 opening. What do you guys think? I love watching Rutraj compared to Gill. Actually, it's a very close contest.
Yes.
And I love both of them.
Yeah.
They are fantastic young batsmen to watch.
Absolutely.
But if I was to, and let me push everyone to pick one, and just for T20, who are you going to? Okay, let me put it this way: you don't have to pick who's better, but IPL tickets are very tough to come by, and you have a choice to get only one ticket in this season. So, who would you rather pick the ticket to watch? Go watch Ruturaj Gaikwad bat or Shubman Gill bat? Only one.
What is it? A T20?
Yeah, a T20 match.
An IPL game.
Even if not IPL, it's a T20 match. Okay, and the whichever team and the star batters, one team's got Shubman batting, and one team, let's say it's a Syed Mushtaq Ali. Because if I say IPL, you will say, oh, but this team, like Ruturaj has Dhoni and this one has Hardik, so I'll go for them. No, let's assume it's a club level match. And both clubs have one star batter. The rest are
I have
all
that.
average. One has Shubman opening the innings. One has Ruturaj. Rest of them you don't even know, but they're playing, and you can only watch one game.
Shubman Gill.
You'll go for the Shubman.
Yes.
Why?
Because I especially love watching his cover drives and the way I think he's a very stylish batter, and I don't know, it reminds me of myself a little bit.
Very nice. Okay,
So
you'll go.
because his batting also resembles Virat Kohli a lot,
Oh.
and matlab, at the very beginning of when I started playing, I used to watch Virat Kohli bat and I used to imitate
Try and
those
imitate.
things. So we've got similar shots, I believe. So I love watching him play. It's a treat for the eyes.
Very good.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with Gill.
Shubman.
Yeah. Old KKR biases, let's say.
There it is.
Arshit.
I'm torn, yeah, between the two. It's a hard pick.
That's why I asked.
I think I'll go with Gill.
Also Gill.
But I think there is a bit of bias in us because we've watched him play for India a lot.
Yeah.
We know that he can do wonders.
Yeah. What is Nitish sent? Nitish says, I love this show. I've been watching it from last October 2020 when this channel was new. Really happy to see you all every day. Congratulations on 150. Congratulations to you too, Nitish, because it's as much of a celebration for us as all of you. So you are the ones who made this possible. And as I said, every day we come here just chatting, engaging with you guys, talking cricket, because we're all cricket nuts, and so are you guys. We just
Yes.
enjoy the whole process. So in the process we are growing, which is great, and we love it.
Yep.
So thank you for that. My choice is very split because I have love for both, because Shubman Gill's a Punjabi, I'm a Punjabi.
Okay.
But Ruturaj comes from Pune. I'm from Pune, so I have a very tough choice to make. But I'm going to go with Ruturaj Gaikwad because I think in T20 cricket, he is. I mean, if you were to ask me one day and test, because I haven't seen Ruturaj play that much, we don't get to see him playing that format. He does play for his state side, but we don't get to watch it, so I can't make a comparison. I'm just looking at T20. I think if he hadn't got those injuries at the wrong time and he's had it more than once, he would have been a regular in your T20 squad, because I do not see a weakness in him. Fast bowling doesn't perturb him. He's so good, even with 150. And he's so good against spinners as well. I see no visible weakness in him. And both are quite similar, as in they're shy, quiet, reticent guys.
They let their bats speak.
Yeah, exactly, right. So, I mean, it's a very tough choice.
Yeah.
I also, because three of them picked Shubman, I like some love for Ruturaj also. So,
I'm also picked Shubman
he also picked Shubman.
because he's from Punjab. और मैंने उसको under 19 के टाइम से देखा है.
Ah.
You know, actually, one of the reasons I also picked Shubman is.
Let him finish. One.
And so Shubman will का short from SGA, मेरा भी SGA.
Oh, yeah, he has had he's had this thought for a while.
And then उसका एक इंटरव्यू देखा था जिसमें उसने कहा था मुझे मतलब उसके अंदर भूख है. उसने कहा मैं सबसे
अब भूख तो ऋतुराज में भी होगी, वो बोलता नहीं
तो
है
सब
उसको-
में हो गए.
वर्ल्ड में सबसे ज्यादा रन बनाना चाहता हूँ तो सचिन का, विराट का, सबका रिकॉर्ड तोड़ना.
सबका बदला लेगा. So Shivam Giri,
You
our
were
producer, is
very
picked-
close to a meme, by the way, quoting a meme.
हाँ, I know. I know that. That's one of my favorite films.
Nice.
Gangs of Wasseypur. Both part 1 and part 2. It has my favorite actor in part 1, but it's brilliant film. Sorry, you were saying.
So yeah, one of the reasons, or rather my reason for going with Shubman Gill is, remember, one of the previous firms that I've worked with, you two have worked there. So I remember we wanted to go for Prithvi Shaw. We just had one option of either going with Prithvi Shaw
For what?
or we were getting one of them for an interview, let's say.
For an interview.
So, and I remember, so Prithvi wasn't available, and Shubman, this was the under 19 days. So, and Prithvi, the firm was very excited about Prithvi. He had all that, buzz around him, Sachin next, whatever. But Shubman was also like a very, very good, close second, let's say, over there. So then we had to then dig in about Shubman, and I just started to work over there, so I was given this job of digging into Shubman. I dug deep, what his family does, father does, spoke to his father, then had a long chat with him, wrote down all the shots that we'll possibly need for this interview, where he goes for his nets, what his father does, everything. Just got so, and that Punjabi element as well, because much of it was relatable to me as well, as to whatever I heard of his family, his father tell about him. And then of course comes in the fact that many around, and that includes the likes of Ian Bishop as well, would often tell us, and even back in the day over there we had Stephen Fleming as well visit us very often to the office. So he would speak very highly of Shubman Gill. Yes, the buzz was around Prithvi, but they said if somebody comes close to emulating the likes of Virat and the Sachin, it is this guy who probably finished as the second or the third highest run getter for India. And his technique is some other level, and it's been so good because I worked very closely on that story, I remember, and it was much later than the competitors sort of got an interview with him and did a story with him. So there was a personal attachment to that story, and it's good to see that all the hype around him, he's actually living up to it in terms of his grace, in terms of whatever promise that he comes with. So it's great to see that.
Yeah, it is. I like him too. In fact, one of the at the earlier place, we all had to pick one guy you're gonna see in the future, or you'd want to, watch out for. I'd picked Shubman that time. This was about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's fantastic that he's living up to that. But I've still picked Ruturaj in T20. I pick him because I think he can bat at that strike rate that you're looking at.
Yes.
But all formats, then Shubman.
Yeah.
Okay, before we forget, this is our Cricket Exchange contest. If you join us every day, you know what it is all about. It's a stock exchange of cricketers. Every game we ask you to pick top 3 gainers, top 3 losers, and you can win big, but you need to have a wallet where you put in your money and then you bet on which one is going to win in terms of your prediction. So the one who gets all his predictions right stands to win very big. It's available, as I said, on the sportstuck.com website as well as the Sportstuck app. So we're taking a look at the top 3 gainers, losers in today's game. This was the earlier game, the Mumbai versus Kolkata Knight Riders game. What is it, Shiva?
4.
So it'll be 4 things to look at because 2 for each match.
Yeah, okay. So this is the previous game. Your gainers are Ritik Shokeen. Wow, I thought do their stock value fall if they get fined after the match for
I don't think this counts attitude, unfortunately.
attitude is not.
No.
Okay.
No attitude, no fair play.
Otherwise, Ritik Shokeen's stock value would have fallen. He wouldn't be in the gainers after his go at Nitish Rana today.
Yeah.
But on terms of his performance, he's risen by 19.5%. If you're wondering how is he risen so high, whereas it wasn't that outstanding a performance, that because his stock value was so low, opening value was just 136, and now it's gone to 162. Suyash Sharma is always a good bet to go with because his value is still very low.
Yeah.
So from 124 it's gone to 148, and this is the thing with our thing, Janssen. Who went for plenty, but he came at the lowest value. 100 is the lowest value for anyone.
Okay.
So from that, anything he did would have taken
a significant
value
jump.
something higher. And in his case, if you take a look at that, the number of points that have increased are just 19, but that becomes 19.4%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? For Ritik, the increases in about 30s or late 20s, the value, but that is also 19%.
Yeah.
Right? And for Suyash, the rise is about 24, but that's also 19%. So
Because again, lower values.
yes, so that's why. Those are the top 3 gainers. Top 3 losers, Nitish Rana, yes, didn't have a good outing today. Stock fell by 20%. Sunil Narayan, almost 20, 19.9. Went for plenty, very unusual for him.
Yeah.
And then Narayan Jagadishan also, his stock falling by 16%. Let's take a look at the next match that happened after that. The top 3 gainers are Sandeep Sharma. From 207, his value has risen to 246. That's a gain of 18.9%. Dhruv Jorel, for his cameo, stock has risen 17.4%. And David Miller, also his stock has risen 17.2%. So these stock values will keep changing throughout the IPL, and remember their values are dependent on the reputation that they come in or the price that they fetched at the auction. So based on that, we have assigned certain value to them. Somebody got very high value at the auction, so he's got already a very high valued stock. So he has to keep his performance very high for his ROI, return of investment, to be good. Whereas if you were bought for a very low price, then you really, not much is expected out of you because you're paid such low amount. So your stock value can increase with even smaller, significant, minor gains will also help you go up. So that is how the stock exchange works. Pretty much like what you see at a regular stock exchange. So the top 3 losers in that game, Alzari Joseph. Yes, didn't have a great game after a few good games. His stock value fell 20%, and 20% is the highest that it can fall, and 20% is also the highest it can gain on a given day. Saha has fallen by 10%, not a good outing for him, and Josh Butler also didn't get a lot of runs today, so his stock has fallen by 3%. 3% for Josh Butler is a lot, so the stock value from 661 has fallen to 614. No,
641.
Yeah. So about a 20%, a 20 point dip.
19.8 to be precise.
Yeah. Which is just 3%. 20 points is just 3%. 20 point for a Suyash Sharma would be like a 20% gain or something.
Exactly.
Like that. So that's the difference. It's a great game to play, especially for a cricket nut, because this requires a lot of thought process, digging deep, analytics and stats. So if fantasy gaming is not your cup of tea, it's too plain Jane, too vanilla for you, then maybe try this one. This is very in-depth, and if you like in-depth things, then attempt this.
By the way, okay, so tomorrow's RCB CSK, right? And said we won't be here. Which is why he was, almost kicking himself while he was making skeds. He's like, I will be missing this match. Yeah.
He won't be missing it. He'll be watching it.
He wanted to be here, but
we'll send him a Zoom link.
He'll very well join.
Let him enjoy his chutti.
That will be him enjoying his chutti.
Sahil is saying excited for tomorrow's game, CSK RCB.
Yes.
Mahirat moment.
Mahendra Singh Dhoni and
I
Virat.
got it, but I never heard of this term before.
Same. I'd heard of Viratians and Rohitians, and then was
it's very,
Mahirat.
very common.
See?
I clearly don't follow that. I generally said
I don't know about it.
No idea.
Mahirat.
No idea. Okay, thank you very much for giving us company. Tomorrow who's going to win? Can you give...
Only predictions?
Yeah, why not?
RCB.
We should have asked her. Big Virat Kohli
Yeah.
fan.
I also am actually leaning towards RCB slightly. Don't know where. CSK's bowling doesn't inspire much confidence.
Where are they playing?
They should be playing at Chinnaswamy. I'm guessing because RCB did play the last one at Chinnaswamy.
No, but then that doesn't really matter.
But they played two back-to-back at home. Maybe third one.
Acha, who are you going with?
I'd like CSK to win.
I'll also go with CSK. So we even it out.
Yeah.
2 for CSK, 2 for RCB.
It's 3-2, no? Because
And between Virat and Dhoni, it's a tough one, but I'm going to go Mahi.
Dhoni.
I'm going Mahi way.
the Mahi way.
Yeah.
Same.
Yes, Shivam, you want us to read something?
No, please.
No.
No?
I'm chatting something.
Oh, sorry. Bye bye. Thank you for your company. Have a good night, ladies and
Good
gentlemen.
night.
See you tomorrow, 6:45 for that South Indian Kaveri Derby.
Kaveri
That's
Derby.
what it's called.
Yes.
The historian won't be with us, who will give us all the history about the Kaveri dispute. Maybe I'll get him to record a video at home and send one. Bye bye. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome.